Well, for Mary Poppins' arrival look, obviously was probably the most important costume in the entire film, really, because this is what everyone's going to remember as Mary Poppins looking like, is when she arrives. And it's what everybody remembers from the original film. I mean, I have a completely clear vision of what she looked like. Maybe not every tiny detail, but I certainly remember the silhouette, because the silhouette is what was used in all of the imagery everywhere, which was the hat. This was a sort of Edwardian type period in the original. A hat, a coat with a narrow waist. I can't remember if it was belted, but a longer length coat just above the ankles, and then her little feet sticking out. And on one hand, I needed to reflect that or do something very similar, but I had to do the 1930s version of that, and a slightly different version for our new, more contemporary Mary Poppins. So the 1934 silhouette for women, the fashionable silhouette for women, really wasn't a million miles away from the look that we saw her in the original film. So I did a narrow-waisted belted coat with the addition of the cape. And first of all, I tried like a small cape, and then a double cape, which it's sort of to create some movement and to change the silhouette slightly and accentuate the small waist. And it kind of just makes this nice shape. And I kept thinking, well, we're going to be seeing the silhouette of that as she appears. So for me, that was very important. So the painted costumes are for the animated sequence, where our live action characters actually are in scenes and will be in scenes with animated characters against an animated background. And we knew this was going to be a sort of a large section of the film, like in the original. But I sort of from very early stage started thinking about this and thought it would be great to make the characters really part of this world. And I thought I would experiment with making their costumes look as if they've been painted and two-dimensional, the same as the animated characters, which are being treated in a very old-fashioned Disney way. They're hand-drawn, hand-painted, as opposed to the much more sophisticated animated styles now with Pixar and the likes. We were going back to the old-fashioned way of doing it, and so I decided to treat the costumes in exactly the same way. Just that childhood thing, it really reminds you of your childhood. It takes you back to your childhood. And I remember it as being the first film I saw. And, I probably do know all the words to all the songs of the original film. I'm not going to sing them, but I probably do know all the words. But I'm amazed to hear that my friends' kids are still as obsessed with Mary Poppins. And I think it looks really old-fashioned now when I watch it, but it's still there. I think a lot of it has to do with the music. I really do. I think the music from the original are all tunes that you can remember, words that you can remember, and I think this has the same appeal.